You know, when you jump from one station to another, when you get done mixing a live set to the next interview, it's kind of confusing. Sorry, boys. Thank you for making time for coming out and hanging out with us.
No, our pleasure. Thanks.
You know, we have some Ohio natives here who definitely have to join in.
I'm from Ohio. I love you guys.
Thank you.
What? You're from Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, we're all from Cincinnati.
What part of Cincinnati?
I'm from the west side, and most of the guys are from the east side. So there's a lot of conflict over that.
Yes.
Turf war?
Yeah,
Kind
turf
of.
war, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but Cincinnati has one of the largest Catholic schools contingencies because of the Archdiocese of Cincinnati. Did you go to one of those Catholic schools?
I went to Our Lady of Visitation.
Yep.
And then my high school was single-sex, all-guys high school, St. Xavier. So yeah, most of the schools in Cincinnati are segregated like that. You know?
Alder and
Yeah.
Moeller.
But you went to a co-ed high school, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was lucky.
That's
what
why
I hear.
you're much more well-adjusted than I am. That's why I still can't talk to girls.
I went to the University of Dayton, and all my guy friends, they either went to St. Xavier or Moeller. Those are like the two biggies. Yeah. So, being from Ohio, I was wondering when I heard Blood Ohio.
Blood Buzz.
Blood Buzz Ohio. I still
That's
can't
kinda-
say it till
it's
this
gotten-
day.
It was called Butt Buzz.
Butt
or
Blood.
Butt
Buzz Ohio.
So, yeah.
I still have to concentrate when I say it. Where did that come from? I thought maybe that was...
I mean, the Blood Buzz is just made up, sort of like being, I mean, I guess having Ohio in your blood and being, a wine buzz or something like that, but just, buzzing on your own history or youth or something like that. I don't know. It's sort of...
Which I understand, but I was wondering, I said, how many that's a saying there? And I just missed that completely.
I'm trying to make it one, yeah.
Okay, well, I like it. And
Apparently now
I'm
there's
like,
a drink called a Blood Buzz Ohio that's been
Oh, I like
being
that.
served around the world.
Is that inspired by you guys? Was that existing before?
Yeah, I mean, we were
I would
told
say
it
so.
was. We've seen it in bars in Italy and
Norway.
Ooh,
Norway.
that's cool.
Yeah, I
I
think
think a
in
heavy drinking crowd, which helps. But
It's been almost a year since High Violet came out.
Yeah.
And, I got to tell you, they talk about bands in rock and roll going out and being able to put an incredible string of records together and albums together. A lot of times they refer to the Rolling Stones, of course, with their incredible, they go
It's been a
Lead,
few
Beggar's
good records.
Banquet, Exile on Main Street. But the last 3 records that you guys have done, pretty phenomenal. And I'm curious, is this one of those things where you put the pressure upon yourself to try to top the last one? I mean, and I've got to think at this point, you must already be thinking about the next thing you're going to do.
We are thinking about that, and I think, well, I don't know. I mean, because the fact that it's taken us a really long time for people to pay any attention, I think that each record, like the 3 records ago, Alligator, we felt that it sort of got us attention for the first time in our, and we were so afraid of losing that tiny little foothold, foot in the door that we had, that we, just kind of lost our minds trying to make Boxer and trying to top it and make sure we weren't going to lose whatever little chance that we had, and so the same thing kind of, and that was a successful record. And so this with High Violet, but then again, none of those records have blown up, on like at a big commercial level, or so we.
But there's a base for you guys. I mean, it's interesting to me because, as the program director, I've got to keep track of everything that's going on, right? And as I look at it, like, okay, well, this record did this, and it seems like there's this ascension thing going on with the band. More notoriety coming. I think it's the the critical accolades that you're getting on each subsequent release. But you guys are definitely stepping up to the challenge. I mean, Boxer is, in my opinion, humble opinion, one of the most stunning and cinematic sounding records I've heard in the last 10 years.
Thank you.
And when you came out, last week with High Violet, I'm thinking, okay, they're stepping up to the plate. But I mean, that's a pretty incredible thing to go. Okay, that was a strong record. Can we match it? Can we top it? And I understand you also have a fairly unique writing process. I mean, it seems collaborative, but as far as the lyrics and the music go, you guys sort of work separately, correct?
And yeah, I mean, maybe that has something to do with why, at least so far, we've managed to make good records. It is collaborative, and if you, like, no one person can force any idea through the band. So I think some bands, one of their pitfalls is they have like a dictator in the band, or somebody who can say like, this is the song, just play it. With us, it's 5 very opinionated, somewhat self-effacing, critical people. So we kind of, nobody's delusional about like, oh wow, that's the best song ever. We're kind of like always, it's almost like until we succeed, we think we're going to fail. Which is maybe not the most
it's usually all 5 of us have to like really love the song before we let it, you know, before we put it down and commit it to a record, and that takes a long time. And I mean, we know, we've seen so many bands, we've been doing it, we know how easy it is to dissolve and disappear, and I think we're terrified of that. And frankly, it's taken us a long time to get attention, and I think a lot of our motivation is writing great songs, but you know, the motivation of just keep proving ourselves and not disappearing and not being forgotten is like, you know, we don't take it for granted. We know how easy it is for it all just to slip away. So we're kind of like we've been doing it for 10 years, but we've been desperate for 10 years, sort of. You know.
Well, there's this, you know, interesting family dynamic in the band too. I mean, it's like a band of brothers. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that is, I don't know, that I think that's a really nice part of it, is that there's 2 sets of brothers, and it's kind of, we all get along, and we're all friends, and these experiences, none of us expected this kind of success, and we get to play all over.
Brothers or anything.
No, yeah, we play all over the world, and we have a great audience. We were just in South America, and to realize, wow, we have the same audience down there that we have in Europe or here, and it's really fun, and it's also self-preserving in a way to have. You know, we have arguments and there's creative friction, but then you get through it because it's your brother. You can't really stay mad, or at least
it's hard to break up.
It's a question I have. With 2 sets of brothers, are there epic family battles that go on in between?
There are. It's more, I mean, there's, like, our drummer is, the other, my twin brother and I, we fight, but it's almost non-verbal. It's just we give each other the death stare, you know.
Growing up with each other, you kind of know each other's, you know, marks. Where this is the point where you leave him alone, just let him do his own brooding.
Scott and Brian will occasionally tackle each other, so that's another level. Less verbal, more.
Yeah, but they were doing that stuff when they were like 9.
Well, you know, because you got 2 boys.
2 sons. I mean, my sons are 11 and 9. They beat the crap out of each other. They live to torment each other, and they're learning to play music. And it's great right now to kind of watch them and put instruments in front of their hands. My oldest plays trumpet, and the light has gone on, and he's realized, hey, I've got this guitar here, I'm going to learn some chords. Little brother plays drums, and it's funny, they're like trying to collaborate on this stuff. That's, you know, and you know, they're 11 and 9, and I'm thinking,
that's
wow,
great.
You know, and does it turn into anything, or is it just something you like kind of have something to connect on for your entire life? Doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters. I think I mean, for children, I know my brother and I, my father was a musician, and we started playing music when we were tiny, and for us it was always just, instead of playing in the sandbox or playing, we also played sports, but I mean, mainly we would just sit and play stuff. We made up stuff when we were really young, and it's really easy for us to write music because of that. Like, it's almost instantaneous. We can be, you know, I think it's because we started so young.
Sure.
And we might not get along, you know, socially sometimes, but we do get along musically.
Because you can connect that way.
Yeah.
What kind of music was in the house when you were growing up?
It was mainly jazz, like, and some kind of, my dad was a jazz drummer, and then also like just a lot of classic American songwriting and stuff. It wasn't cool music really until my sister, who's older, got into some, like, got into the Pixies and Smiths and stuff, but mostly we listened to like Simon
Yeah, but
Garfunkel,
now it is
Bob
cool.
Dylan. Yeah, now it's cool.
That's the funny thing.
Back then it wasn't cool.
Right.
I have to say this, you have one of the, in my opinion, signature voices right now in music. I mean, when you hear a national song.
Signature, that doesn't necessarily mean good or bad, does it?
No, I think it means good, but I mean, honestly, you know, I hear you sing, and I hear a song, and there's a feel, there's a level to what you expect from a song from the national. There's this building almost, you know, but your voice comes out, and it sort of carries, and it's sort of haunting, and And I have to tell you, I mean, I would think if I were a producer, I'd be stalking you to like add your pipes to certain things I'm working on.
I was recently approached by Intel to do some voiceover work.
Big money.
And I almost did it, but then when I heard, I listened back to the things I was going to have to say. It was so silly, but nothing against Intel. But yeah, I mean, as far as being a singer in a rock band, it's like I was a huge, I was a kind of a music nerd in high school, but not as a performer. I don't know how to play the guitar or piano or anything like that. But so it was bands that I think the bands like Pavement and Guided by Voices made me realize that maybe I could sing too, And
You're a GBB fan, aren't you?
oh yeah, big.
All right, we're gonna work on Goldheart Mountaintop.
Yeah.
We were singing it the other night here.
It's ridiculous.
We have sing-alongs to that song.
But then, I mean, like Bob Pollard made me he kind of realized that it's just about enthusiasm and delivery, but I've learned how to I think I've learned how to sing over the past 10 years of being in a band and stuff. But I never really worried about knowing how to sing, so I always thought it was just much more about delivery, like people like Nick Cave and that kind of thing. I mean, they're all amazing singers. It's not necessarily because of the technical sort of voice that they have. Right?
Well, the singers you reference, they have this unique gift, whether it's Bob. I mean, Bob's from Dayton, Ohio, but he sounds like he's from, England.
Yeah.
With the way he sings, and it's funny he mentions, I've read interviews, and even he's told me over a beer or two, when I'm hung, that it's one of those things where it's like, those are the records I grew up on, that's how I learned to sing. I learned to emulate my heroes. And, in a sense, this will date me a bit, but I love a lot of the 4AD stuff, Dead Can Dance, and I hear you a little bit, I'm like, I can hear you singing, like Brendan from Dead Can Dance, you have that similar sort of baritone.
Yeah. I think, I mean, being whatever the register that I'm singing, I automatically compare to other baritones, and I mean Ian Curtis, I get a lot of that stuff. But it's if there's any singer I think that it's probably Nick Cave is somebody that singing along to his stuff is maybe where I learned the most. But I mean, I recently sang on a Grinder Man song, and it was so hard. I had to purposely try to sing as high as I could, so it didn't sound like I was mimicking.
Which Grinder Man song did you sing?
It's on there.
Evil.
Evil. Yeah. It's there.
Nice.
Come on, I'm gonna know that.
Nice. It's a B-side to the single that just released, I think, on Record Store.
Record Store.
But so I purposely was trying to sing, in a much higher register, just so it didn't sound like I was mimicking, a hero, which I do in everything else I do.
It's funny you say the higher register, but Pitchfork called you Nick Cave's peer in elegant, depressive baritone awesomeness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of the type of songs we write and the vocal register that we've gotten a lot of Nick Cave, comparisons, and that one's always, he is definitely one of my heroes on a perspective of just lyrics too. And so that's very flattering. So. But if you hear the B-side, the Evil song that I sing on, it's clear who's who.
Gentlemen, it's an honor to have you hang with us. We appreciate you taking the time out to come by and chat with us. Let's take a quick break and come back and let's play a track from High Violet, from the National, on FM 94.9, live from Coachella. It's FM 94.9.
Thank you.
Can we miners real quick?